Thank you, Craig. All right, so yesterday, I believe, was a big anniversary. Do you know what it was the anniversary of?
I do, because so many people hit me up with this.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
What was it then?
Sully.
The 15th anniversary of Sully Sullenberger miraculously landing that plane on the Hudson.
That Airbus A320 landed it on the Hudson. It's known as the Miracle on the Hudson.
Right. Promoted endlessly by Sully Sullenberger.
See, this is where you and I disagree.
Oh, no. Hold on, P1s. This is where Gordo and I tremendously agree, but he plays the role of disagreeing.
No. I think that Sully didn't want to be known for this and has shied away from the media attention. Would you let me finish a sentence without laughing me out of the room?
Okay.
Did you see his tweet yesterday?
Oh, no.
Sully tweeted it against his will because everyone had pestered him.
He probably has someone in control of his account.
No, he does not. Relive the minute-by-minute replay of Flight 1549.
He didn't tweet in that voice.
A day that demanded the best of humanity and teamwork.
He did not. Did he really?
Yes. P1 sent me all his tweets yesterday. The guy, and he's
got a team.
As one P1 said, the guy is shameless. He is the biggest self-promoter in the United States outside of any politician.
He has some Gen Alpha or somebody who's doing his Twitter account.
No. Oh, okay. You guys keep making excuses for him to fit your narrative that he's this humble hero.
He is a humble hero.
My God.
Yeah, I don't know about the humble hero thing. He may be just all in it for the publicity ever since it happened. All I know is, though, from the day it happened, I remember reading those, emergency little, pamphlets on a plane, and when they're going through their spiel about, if we do have to evacuate on water, put the flotation device and pull the cord and all that stuff. And they would show a picture of a plane floating and people walking out into the wing, and I remember thinking, that can't happen.
Yeah, and he made it happen.
And he kind of landed it.
He made it happen. So I never saw the movie Sully.
No, I refused to watch it.
With America's film hero Tom Hanks.
Sully demanded that Hanks play him.
The title role of Chesley Sully Sullenberger. You know who it was directed by? Clint Eastwood.
Was it really?
Yes. Yes, and I didn't realize that. Now, this is the premise of Sully the movie. I don't know how much of this is what actually happened, but of course we know the landing, the water landing, and he saves all 155 people on board, the crew and the passengers. But in the movie, Sully learns that preliminary data suggested the left engine was still running at idle power, and theoretically it still had enough power to land the plane at either LaGuardia or Teterboro. And the NTSB claims that several confidential computerized simulations show similar results, and Sully and Jeff, his co-pilot, are insisting otherwise, saying, no, we couldn't have landed the plane. We only could have ditched it in the Hudson. So I guess the movie is about that battle, that they're saying that this had to be done, and the NTSB and everybody going, looks like you could have landed the plane. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, plenty of fuel to just get to the runway over there, so 6 miles away.
They're saying pilot error in the movie there, and then it also says that Sully is heralded by the public and media for his unprecedented feat of aviation skill, but experiences the after effects and finds himself unable to escape the attention of the press, which is not only targeting him but also his family. So in the movie, he doesn't. The press is just all over him, and he's trying to escape the press.
He says yes to every single interview request. He is on every TV station.
No, that is not true.
Every radio station.
I have to defend Sully here.
No, you don't.
He has reluctantly done over 1,000 interviews.
And look, I'm not saying that he did a poor job, although maybe the NTSB says you could have landed it at the freaking airport. But But what I'm saying and what many pilots have told me is that, yeah, he did a really good job. We're all trained to do that. Sully, people act like Sully that flight was lucky because there was only one pilot in the world
that could do it.
That could have done it.
That's what I think.
And they happened to have had that guy. No. When the reality is...
That was God putting Sully at the right place, right time, because he knew that he could save those people.
The reality is that there are 100,000 pilots that could have done that.
Gosh. Don't say that around Sully.
Well, he doesn't have time to hear me because he's doing some interview right now.
Well, you need to put in a media request where you can talk to him.
Great.
You know who played his wife in the movie? Laura Linney.
Oh, okay.
We always like her.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see if anybody else. Anna Gunn.
Oh, yeah.
That's Skylar, right?
From Breaking Bad.
She plays Dr. Elizabeth Davis. I have no idea who that is in the movie, but okay. Fine. Yeah, I haven't watched it, and I need to watch it. It is amazing to me that it did $240 million at the box office and was made for $60 million. So it did really well. People love the story, the hero story of Sully, who not only was the hero of the Miracle on the Hudson, but also he once stayed at the Como Motel when he was a kid. That was an additional news story that we had at one point.
Yeah, he's from Denison or something.
Yeah. From Denison.
Yellow Jacket.
Which wasn't Eisenhower from Denison as well?
Mm-hmm.
Two of our biggest American heroes from the same place.
Let me put it to you this way, Junior. Look at all the special agents that are trained, but if one of them made some sort of heroic move and saved the president, he would be the one who was celebrated.
Yeah.
That's fine. But would he also go on a 15-year self-promotion campaign, the likes of which we've never seen?
He's not promoting himself. He's promoting heroic acts in everyday people.
Oh, okay.
It's a celebration of ourselves.
He's bringing out the hero in all of us.
You guys are right. I've had it wrong for 15 years. My eyes have been deceiving me.
They have.
As P1s may remember, 8 years ago, we played, when the movie was coming out, we actually had a preview of the trailer.
Oh, we did, huh?
In the year 2009, America was under attack. Radical Islamic geese from Canada were terrorizing the world, attacking our children, our Constitution, even our Airbus A320s.
Captain, our plane's been hit. It's probably a rocket.
No, Jeff. I can tell from the strike. It was a rig from Canada.
A radical Islamic geese? Sully, you're a genius.
No, Jeff. I'm just an average American hero who's got a job to do. Yes. Captain Sully Sullenberger, when U.S. Airways Flight 1549 was cowardly attacked only minutes after taking off from America's #1 airport,
Irrelevant.
Captain Sully had a decision to make. Should he try to glide the crippled aircraft into a daycare or Methodist church in Queens? Or should he try to do what no man had ever done before, land a plane of people on a plane in the forbidden waters of the Hudson River?
Forbidden?
Jeff, I'm going to land this bird in the Hudson.
Captain, that's impossible. No one has ever landed Flight 1549 in the Hudson before.
Yeah? Well, no one's been Captain Sully Sullenberger before either.
Engine 1 is out. Engine 2 is out!
I don't need them! The engine of courage is stronger than both of those!
But we can't do it, Captain! We've got no power!
It was then, I'll take it from here, it was then that Air Traffic Control ordered Sullenberger to follow the common protocol of the day and crash the plane into a graveyard to save the airline the cost of grave digging.
Captain, we've got to go ahead and crash this plane into an elementary school and just hope that there's a hay bale inside!
I'm not giving up yet!
But I'm your co-pilot!
No, you're not, Jeff. God is my co-pilot. With only seconds to make a decision, Captain Sully did what no man had ever done before. He decided to decide something other than crashing into a public square or orphanage. Jeff! Jeff, are you there?
I'm here, Captain! I'm here!
Tell them I'm not crashing this plane anywhere! Tell them
what?
Tell them we're going surfing.
Captain Sully Sullenberger.
Captain! Air traffic control needs to know which maternity ward you want to try to crash the plane into.
Tell them there's going to be no crash.
But Captain, they've ordered us to crash
Negative, Jeff. There ain't gonna be no crash.
So give them a no?
No, Jeff. That's not a no. That's 155 hell no.
A new film from Jesus.
Okay.
Captain Sully Sullenberger. He's like George Washington and Gandhi rolled into one kick-ass package of plane landing. Opening in theaters on the new 4th of July this weekend. Sully Sullenberger.
Let's get this thing down on the river.
Wow, okay.
I hate movies.
Wow.
I hate movies.
That does sound like a Clint Eastwood directed movie.
Yeah. Total
Pretty
Clint
hokey.
Eastwood. It's basically the same scene, just over and over again.
Sully and Jeff. going
Yeah.
back and forth.
They were ordered to crash into all of those
a
places, like
maternity
a maternity ward, elementary school.
Air traffic control kept trying to pick new targets for him.
My favorite was, tell them we're going surfing.
So dumb. Anyway, congratulations, Sully.
Way to go, Sully.
15 years ago, he saved America.
Thanks for bringing out the hero in all of us.
All right, that's the ODEC.
How was your second morning of really coldness coming into work?
Well, the roads were bone dry.
Yeah, they were completely dry. And, you know, it's very controversial because so many schools are not having class today. Because of the weather, but yet the roadways are clear. Now, I've heard it explained that the reason they canceled classes is because they didn't want the kids who ride the bus to school to be waiting out in the temperatures that are this cold for the bus. So,
That makes some sense. It
Yeah.
is, 12 out there?
yeah, crazy low.
And if we're just barely hanging on the grid, do we need to heat all these schools
I bet you they still heat them, though.
to the same degree of when the
I
kids
don't-
are there? I bet they don't.
I don't know how it works. I mean, I know, you know, there's the idea that keeping it at the temperature you want it at creates less power demand than letting it get cold or really hot and then trying to cool it back down or heat it way
Yeah.
back up. But I don't know if
it may.
I know that's true of air conditioning a lot of times. I don't know if it's true for heat in the same way. But
Yeah, I wonder, like a big school building, if you didn't heat it, let's say you turned it down to 60 to save energy, how long would it take to get it warm enough for those kids to go back in?
That's a good one.
Take a while to ramp that thing up?
Yeah. That's the reason I've heard the whole bus thing. Kids waiting to either get in school or waiting at a bus stop.
Yeah, the wind chill out there right now is -2.
that's gold. Any frozen pipes yet
Nope.
in your
Knock on wood.
You done the thing that I
Open. Not
recommend?
going to happen.
Keep your cabinets open and all that kind of stupid stuff. That seems to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the warm air can get up under the cabinets, up under the sink for the pipes.
Get up under Cotton Fitzsimmons.
Up under. That is such a southern term. Yeah, put that up under. Up under. Why did that even start?
I don't know.
Huh. And I have one of those Mr. Freeze things that I told you about, some little device you put on the outdoor faucet that keeps it running. And it's created the biggest mountain of ice on the side of my apartment
Why don't you
building.
just put a little sleeve on there?
Well,
Whatever
I've
they
got
call those things.
I got the faucet koozies on other ones. So I'm doing an experiment to see which one works best.
Okay.
If you want some temps,
Yeah.
it's 9 right now in Crum. It's 8 in Gainesville. 9 in Bonham. 10 in Fort Worth.
9?
10 in Denton. 12 in Dallas.
Dang. So much for global warming, huh? Biden wants us to think that we've got to do something about our planet.
Stop, man. We
Hey,
got to go
Come
all
on.
the way
Biden-
back.
Come on.
November.
We need to stir everybody
Look,
up.
no, we don't.
The point of humanity is to hate other humanity.
don't.
That's what we need to do. Let's
No.
get it going. Come on.
It's not just
By the
mention
way,
It's fun.
anybody.
It's what we do. It's called culture, George.
I meant to mention this yesterday. How crazy was it that we had lake effect snow around here 2 nights ago? Wasn't that amazing?
I was going to ask about that. Seriously, off Lake Louisville? And
yeah.
Grapevine?
Texoma.
Okay, Texoma, I believe. Louisville's good size, too.
Yeah.
What lake effect snow?
So it's what they always get in Cleveland and Buffalo on the Great Lakes when our lake temperatures were kind of
in the
warm.
north. Yeah.
Yeah, our lake temperatures here in the south were warm. And then when you got that Arctic air blowing over it, it created that frozen condensation that turned into lake effect snow. And so on the radar, you would see these streams of snow starting at Texoma and going straight south the way the wind was blowing from the due north. And it was pretty wild. That's why they got a lot heavier snow in Denton or, Frisco, just south of these lakes than we did. We didn't get much in East Dallas.
I've never heard them mention that around here
I haven't
before.
either. It's the first time ever.
That's what makes me think they're making it up.
Now, the radar it showed a very clear picture of what was happening.
Okay.
Why do you doubt all science?
He's a science denier.
No, I don't.
Remember when he took us aside and was all about how, hey, dinosaurs were put here to test our faith. That's the only reason there's bones.
Never said that.
You doubt all fossils.
Yep.
You doubt carbon dating.
Carbon dating.
You
You're
doubt
against
carbon
that.
dating.
I'm not
You said,
against
how can
it.
they tell?
I just brought it up one day when we studied it in school. Then you had the same question, didn't you?
What?
Really? You just run a gun over that thing and it tells you this is 4,000 years old. Really?
It's actually very
Carbon
precise.
dating, that's precise. Okay. At George Dunham on Twitter. You don't think they
I shouldn't say precise. It's
like 2
accurate.
years off? Or
Well, yes,
100 years off?
it can be off. They give a range, but
A range.
okay, all right.
Sounds pretty precise.
Speaking of range,
Generic.
I've wondered about you, Giorgio, because you have a hybrid vehicle that has a battery in it.
Yeah,
You don't have the Lightning. You have just the hybrid, right?
correct.
Okay. Because of, a lot of people, electric cars becoming more and more of a factor in everybody's world. Everybody's world. I know up in Chicago, there was a story about how many dead Teslas outside their big supercharging station because electric vehicle, batteries don't work well with cold. And they have all these cars that have been abandoned up there because they couldn't take a charge for whatever reason.
Wow, how weird.
Yeah, because when batteries get really cold, they can't take a charge. And I've noticed that even on my car battery, that's just I have an internal combustion engine, but
That's when they go
the
dead.
cold cranking amps, gets low. Well, imagine that your whole vehicle runs on a battery, and so then you really got an issue there. But yeah, the public charging station up there is a robot graveyard. It has been described as that. So I didn't know if you'd had any problems with yours, George, or noticing your engine running more.
Nope.
Also, let me get to this. Highway signs. The feds are cracking down on jokes on highway signs. You know the electronic signs you see out there? It says, buckle up, stay safe, and all that.
People hack them.
Well, these aren't hackings. These are official messages that someone puts a little bit of humor into.
TxDOT tries to be funny.
Okay.
Yeah, Well, now the Fed's cracking down on that and saying, no humor.
Don't
Just keep
drive off the road like the Cowboys did.
Hello. Like in Massachusetts, a sign up there said, use Yablinka.
Come on, it's funny.
In Ohio, visiting in-laws, slow down, get there late.
Funny.
In Pennsylvania, don't drive star-spangled hammered. Hands on the wheel, not your meal. From Arizona, people eating and driving up there. And they even have a contest in Arizona. It had 3,700 entries for the most creative messages. Seat belts always pass a vibe check was one of the winners. I don't know what's so creative about that, but... And another one, I'm just a sign asking drivers to use turn signals. What was that, Jerry Maguire? What was that movie?
That's,
I'm just a girl
Notting
asking
Hill,
you to
'cause
stay.
We went by the bookstore when we were there. I'm just a girl who wants a guy to, I don't know, something.
I've never seen that movie. Is that the Hugh Grant or something?
Yeah, he's in it.
Okay. Big win in Iowa. Donald Trump wins with 51% of the vote in the Iowa caucus, the Republican presidential caucus. What's a caucus again?
We had this question 4 years ago. And
We
I
have
can't
it every
remember.
4 years. Because it's not just an election deal, right? You can have a caucus in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, right? They have the Black Caucus, they have this caucus, that caucus.
Every time.
So when I just Googled what is, the first autofill was a caucus.
See there?
So everybody
It's
in
listening.
America has that question
It's
this
listening.
morning.
Yep.
It's a meeting or grouping of supporters or members of a specific political party or movement. The exact definition varies between different countries and political cultures.
But some states have primaries, others have caucuses.
I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her. That's the quote.
Oh, brother.
Told you.
Your wife
Boy,
would just
don't bring
tears
that-
down her face.
Yeah, don't bring that up with sarcasm.
Anyway, Trump's gets 51%. Ron DeSantis gets 21.2%, and Nikki Haley with 19.1%. Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm getting better.
Sound like you were trying to speak a foreign language.
He got 7.7%, and he drops out
Off.
and endorses Trump. So this is pretty amazing because a one-term president usually never makes a comeback.
Yep.
If they lose an election, they don't regain their nomination. And here in, at least in Iowa already, he won handily. And I think he wins with the biggest margin in caucus, an Iowa caucus.
Yeah, one-term president coming back never happens. But then again, we've never seen anybody like this guy.
Right.
There's never been a figure in political history like him.
So he's the early leader, and that makes George happy.
Just go to the next
You're
story.
all Reagan, all Trump all the time.
Let's go to the next one.
Well, maybe I'll come out of retirement and run alongside him. Okay, Moomy.
Moomy.
I wonder if people even remember Ronald Reagan. He's getting so long ago now that a lot of people don't even remember him or the impersonations of him.
alive. Yeah.
Well, Moomy.
You didn't sound like that.
He did.
Nothing like
He called his wife Mommy. Long after the kids were out of the
How
house.
They did it on the Reagan Ranch. You don't have to worry about it.
There are a lot of people that don't remember Ronald Reagan or Cowboys Super Bowl wins.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a long time.
The other big winner, other than Trump's, was Elton John.
What'd he win?
Well, we had the Primetime Emmy Awards, the 75th annual Primetime Emmy Awards. And Elton John won for his Live at Dodger Stadium show, so he wins an Emmy, which gives him the first letter. He had already collected the other letters of EGOT.
Wow.
Now he has all the letters, so he becomes an EGOT winner.
He got him.
He is 76 years and 9 months old, which makes him the second oldest performer to become an EGOT.
Wow.
Sir John Gielgud, also English and also gay, like Elton. That's the way it's written in this story for some reason.
Really? Bad.
Yeah.
You gay.
He was 87 years old and 4 months when he completed his EGOT in 1991.
This Dodger Stadium concert documentary, what was it?
I think it was a
Performance that was
concert.
made
Yeah.
into, yeah.
Was it from his recent tours or was it that famous one from the 70s?
Why would that be up?
Well,
for
I
this
didn't
year?
know if they did a documentary about it.
No, I
Oh.
think it's a recent one, I think.
Okay.
And Clayton Kershaw played bass.
No.
What?
He did not.
Helen Hayes was a bit younger than Elton when she became an EGOT in 1977. She was 76 years and 4 months old. But Elton becomes the first EGOT who has topped the Billboard 200 as a credited artist. Like some of the other ones were on albums, but were kind of an uncredited, I guess, cast singing album or something. But he, of course, is a legitimate Billboard artist.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's our P1 of the week for that.
Greatness.
So congratulations to him. Birthdays today on sports head. Ronnie Millsap is 81.
He's awesome.
Didn't he wear like pantyhose one time in a bar?
Keep going.
While hitting on Tanya Tucker or something.
Keep going.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was a story that some former show host here had that I thought involved Ronnie Millsap and Tanya Tucker in pantyhose.
Okay, so I am now Googling something I did not think I would be Googling this morning.
Well, no.
Ronnie Millsap pantyhose.
No. It was like a personal story that
Ronnie
this
Millsap
show host had
pantyhose.
witnessed, or I don't know. Dr. Laura Schlesinger is 77. Is she still in the air? She had several controversies.
I don't know.
John Carpenter, the director of the Halloween movies, is 76. Debbie Allen, 74. Sade or Sade is 65.
She's great.
Paul Webb, the bassist of Talk Talk, is 62. Lin-Manuel Miranda, 44.
Greatness.
See, George is beaten too.
Because he's a scientist. Lin-Manuel Miranda. He doubts all of his science.
He's not a scientist. Talking about A.J. Foyt is 89.
Wow.
Didn't he punch somebody?
He got in a fight at the TMS with
Johnny Rutherford?
something. I think
Somebody.
it was Johnny Rutherford.
Jack McDowell is 58.
George.
Yeah, Black Jack.
Roy Jones Jr., 55. I think he's a world champion, 4 different weight
I
classes.
think you're right.
Joe Horn, 52.
Saints great.
Brendan Morrow, 45.
Stars great.
Greatness.
And Albert Pujols is 44. You up to date.
All right, that's Muse. Right now it's 8:40 on the ticket, Tuesday morning with the Musers, and you may have noticed we have a ton of school closings this morning around Dallas-Fort Worth with the inclement weather of the last couple of days. So we do this anytime we have school closings. Joining us via satellite to update us on all of the school closings this morning is the Dallas Cowboys Hall of Famer, the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Michael, come in.
Hey. You guys got me. I'm not close.
We got you, Michael. You got to
got
talk
you.
into your microphone there. At,
Not close enough to this microphone.
Yeah,
where are you joining us from?
I am joining you from the Atmospheric Education Collaboration Station, where we educate our youth and we follow strong weather patterns.
Oh, you examine the merging of those two things, the intersection of
And
that.
I don't want to talk about weather right now. I want to talk about weather right now. I want to talk about what happened to the Cowboys
It's
on
going to be
Sunday.
worked up.
I asked one thing of this football team about 6 months ago. Finish the fight! They did not finish the fight against the Green Bay Packers. There was no fight. There was no passion. And there would be no class today at Burleson, Crandall, DeSoto, Eustis, and Ferris.
Quick transition there.
Got some closings.
Close. It is cold. It is so cold outside. So cold, much like that Green Bay defense. That Green Bay defense pretty cold. Jordan Love, pretty cold. And I have nothing but love for Jordan Love. But if they run the ball, you find a way to stop the run. You find a way to tip a pass incomplete. And I did not see that.
No.
Whether they went 2 tight ends or if they went empty. There will be empty classrooms today at Cleveland, Hillsborough, Kaufman, Cairns, Kennedale, Kemp, Keller, and Lancaster. Close. It's going to be closed.
A lot of closings.
It's cold out there. And the roads, I don't know what you found. I found the roads to be fairly passable today.
Yeah.
Fairly passable. but you won't be able to pass your class today if you're in Rio Vista, Fort Worth, ISD, TCU, Commerce, or Red Oak. It's going to be closed today along with Plano, Peace, Midlothian, and Mesquite. Now, let me make a phone call real quick.
Huh. Okay.
We got to get some help to officially make this a closed day.
Doesn't sound like you need help.
Hang on, buddy. Hang on. We're going to get the man here.
Hello?
Troy.
Hi, Michael.
You know what time it is, Troy, and you know who it is.
Unfortunately, I do, yeah.
How many Super Bowls we win in the 90s?
We won 3, Michael. You know the answer to that.
Say it again, Troy. How many we win in the 90s?
I just told you, 3.
3! Why can't this team win one playoff game, Troy?
I don't know, Michael. I really don't want to talk football. I got a busy morning this morning.
I want you to tell me something. I want you to tell me what you know about some school districts.
Dallas ISD is closed.
Closed! Say it loud, Troy!
Pleasant Grove is closed.
Closed!
Fort Worth ISD, closed.
Closed!
University of Texas Arlington is closed.
The Mavs ain't moving today, Troy!
A-plus charter schools, closed.
Closed!
Sunnyvale ECI Academy, closed.
Closed, Troy!
Does Emmett also get a list of closings?
Well, now I'm getting to Emmett. Hey, Troy, we had me, and we had you. And we had a pretty good tight end, Jay Novacek.
We did, Michael. Listen,
But when it was starting to show it, Troy, who'd you give the ball to?
give it to Emmett, but
We had Emmett. Deuce, catch 22. And nobody caught him yet, Troy.
we've been through it. Every time I see you, we have to go through this over and over again.
And together we were the triplets, Troy.
Right, Michael.
It's still real to me. It's still real. That's why I yell at the camera every week about the Cowboys, Troy, because it's still real to me, and I hope it's still real for you.
Well, I appreciate you calling, Michael. Yeah, thank you.
Super Bowl 27.
Yeah,
Super Bowl 28.
Super
Bowl 30, Troy!
That's right.
I love you. I love you.
All right, Michael.
Come on.
I'll talk to you some other
Oh,
time. Okay?
come on, Troy. All right, here goes Troy.
I
One
love
more
you.
closing. Oh, he said it.
I love you.
You know I love you, buddy. Hey, one more closing. The Dallas Cowboys 2023 season closed.
Closed.
One more time, Troy. Oh, he hung up on me. No.
Thank you,
Troy!
Michael. Thank you, Playmaker. Always good to hear from the Playmaker on mornings like this when the schools are closed. Just weird that the triplets get all the school closing lists.
That's who they
Why?
contact first for some reason. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
I've been looking for the actual audio. Can't find it so far, but November 4th, 2012 is when Costas interviewed Jerry Jones before Sunday Night Football and asked him if Jerry would have fired himself as general manager had they been two different people. And Jerry's quote was,
Well, I think so, because he was there to dismiss. I've always worked for myself, and you can't do that. You basically have to straighten that guy out in the mirror when you work for yourself. But certainly, if I had had the discretion, I'd have done it with coaches, and certainly I would have changed a general manager.
What year was that?
2012.
Dang.
2012.
And they've done nothing in the postseason since.
Right.
So I would imagine today he would really fire the general manager.
Yeah. But it's almost, I don't think there's any amount of pressure. I think Jerry is exactly telling us the truth when he says it's not going to happen.
Yep, I do too.
Unless he becomes so incapacitated physically that he passes it off, of maybe a couple years before he passes from the earth or something like that. But he's not going to do it because that is the reason he bought the team. I don't think he bought the team to make a fortune. I think he bought the team to be the general manager and the guy who has his finger in every football pie that the Cowboys have.
I think he bought the team for the notoriety.
Yeah. And to be known as the guy who handles the team. I think he wants more than just the money.
Well, he told Jimmy that.
Yeah.
He said, I can make this incredible real estate deal or oil deal, and nobody talks about it. But when you make a personnel deal, everybody talks about it. That's what I want. I want to have some of that fun, is what he told Jimmy. And his desire to have that fun has cost the Cowboys playoff wins.
Having a little fun here.
If I was to ask you guys, what are the biggest mistakes that Jerry has made as a general manager? Is it the holding on to a coach like Garrett too long?
That was one.
Is it holding on to a quarterback too long that he shouldn't have? Like, what would a good GM have done so very differently than what Jerry did? Like, what's the starkest example that jumps up?
Well, I think the worst thing that he has done consistently is undermining his coaches. Undermining the authority of the guy who is in charge of football, the coach. That is the worst thing that he has done.
Giving players another avenue to go talk to, well, coach said this, well, I'm going to go talk to Jerry. Or some of the things that he will directly contradict what McCarthy or anyone else has said publicly about a team issue.
Like, I think Troy said this with us once, that if he were to take over as general manager of the Cowboys, which everybody wanted him to do, I think he said my number one thing would be to tell Jerry no more weekly press conferences, no more radio shows. We don't need the owner out there muddying the waters for the coaches and the players. And it's not just the undermining the authority of the coach in terms of discipline, but he's always undermined the coach in picking his own staff. Coaches for a long time around here have not been able to choose their own assistants. They've been told, this is your offensive coordinator. This is the guy that you're going to keep here. He's just, he run, and again, that's a lot of the owner role, but he runs this team in an owner general manager role in a way that people have said it forever. It cannot work this way with this structure. And it doesn't work this way really in any other pro sports franchise where you have an owner/GM that is constantly undermining the coach.
Yeah, how about this? If you're going to be the GM, then be the GM. I think that's another just flaw is the part-time GM thing.
You think he doesn't? See, and this is
all he did. I think he could do it. But if you're worried about corporate sponsorships, who's the halftime show, all this stuff that he worries about, the publicity, the marketing, the next boxing match at the stadium. He's a part of all that, real estate deals, all of that. If he just went over the roster every day like a normal GM, I think he'd probably do fine.
So I'm just trying to understand. So it's not that he is too much of a GM, it's he's not enough of one.
And yet he is, but he still has the final word. He's still the final word as the owner, and he can still occasionally, as you're trying to build something here, he can occasionally overrule what the coach wants or what Will McClay wants or what the consensus of the scouting department wants, just because he can occasionally go in there, nope, we're not doing that. We're doing this.
He's definitely the final say on things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But don't you guys get the impression that he does listen to his staff and coaches
yes.
like 95% of the time?
Yes.
More so now than he used to, but he is still the final decision maker, and he still runs it in a way that everybody out there knows that.
He still weighs in on things.
Which includes the players. They know that he is the final decision maker on whatever he wants to be.
Yeah.
Therefore, that guy that's talking to them every week and giving them the X's and O's game plan in other organizations is the final decision maker, but not here.
From the P1s, Joey Freshwater says, Gordon nailed it. Not a Jerry fanboy, but he is always the scapegoat. It's never the coaching or the players. Jerry threw those 2 horrible pick sixes. Jerry was the reason the team was flat and defense was awful. Somehow Jerry sitting in meetings caused all of that.
No, of course not.
But it could have caused a lot of that.
Jeff says Robert Kraft sits in on some coaches' meetings. He mostly listens, but occasionally asks questions. Anna Baby says, I stand with Gordon Keith. My point, too. Why is Jerry always blamed? The players are the ones playing. Wasn't JJ the GM owner when they won Super Bowls? I'm confused. Peter says, love you, Gordon, but stick to comedy. You don't know sports. We all know that. So stop defending Jerry. We know you like doing his shtick, but the media needs to challenge him and not I think it says cuddle him, but I think it's coddle him. Stick to what you know, humor, not football.
Isn't the putting
cuddle him?
The putting the blame on the players and coaches, isn't that a circular argument? If Jerry is the general manager, he's in charge of hiring the coaches and choosing the players. So if you're blaming the players and coaches for being the types that can't get it done, why is Jerry hiring the types that can't get it done?
Right. But I think that what complicates all of these things is the fact that it's the game of football. It's a game, and it's the real world, and sometimes things do not go your way, but that doesn't mean that you're not capable of things going a different way. And when it comes to players, it's like if Dak was good enough to play in those regular season games as well as he did, why would that not translate to the playoffs? Now, sometimes it is that the guy is a head case, let's say, and he panics when he's got a mental block when it comes to playoffs.
Pressure.
That pressure, right. That's a possibility. But sometimes it also is you have a bad game and you're a complete champion. I mean, Tom Brady lost some games somewhere along the line, didn't he? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can do that. That happens too. And it's not always just your fault, even though it is your responsibility. Jerry is the GM. The buck stops with him. And I agree with that logic. That makes some sense. But we also know that Jerry's not going to fire himself as the GM. And if you give him credit for losing all these playoff games, you also got to give him credit for winning those Super Bowls. We can't play that both ways and say, Jimmy won the Super Bowls. Jerry had nothing to do with it. Jerry had everything to do with all the losses until he gets a coach in here. Let's say he brings in another coach and they actually do get back to the Super Bowl. We can't do the trick of, well, that wasn't Jerry that did it. That was this new coach that he brought in.
I think you can. I think it is fair to say that Jimmy was responsible for those Super Bowl wins and Jerry was not. Jerry was in that he hired Jimmy, but it was much different here, the structure and how practices were run and meetings were run and who had the authority over the players when Jimmy was here, and that stopped the day Jimmy left. And since Jimmy left, it's been on Jerry. Because he's been, I think that is an absolute fair thing to argue.
Okay, so if McCarthy had gotten them, let's say, to the Super Bowl, and let's say they won this year, this is crazy hypothetical.
That is crazy.
Would does any credit go to Jerry in that case?
Yes,
sure,
he would,
absolutely.
Yeah, Jerry would get the credit if they won it.
This is what is another complicating factor here is the sample size. Mm-hmm. We have almost 30 years of Jerry overseeing a 5-14 playoff record. Almost 30 years of a general manager who has produced nothing, especially relatively speaking to almost every other franchise in football in terms of the postseason. There is no general manager that would keep his job with that kind of a record. And yes, every GM has their hits and their misses. Jerry's done a lot of things well as GM. One year he was executive of the year. Every GM that is fired has 5, 10, 15, 100 good things that they did that they can point to. So, yeah, you can point to good things that Jerry's done in 30 years as a GM, a lot. But you have such a large sample size of ineptitude when it comes to producing playoff winners that's the big thing here. So if it's not Jerry's fault, then what do you chalk that up to? He's the only common thread. He's the only common thread. So if it's not the man in charge, then what are you going to sell me as the reason that the Cowboys have been so bad in the postseason for all this time? Just dumb luck?
So let's say that Jerry gives up the GM-ship.
Okay.
would he ever give it to someone other than Steven? Like, would he go with a Will McClay?
I think he would. Sure.
Or Will Clay, as he once called him.
Jeez.
I think he would.
Clay.
And then make Steven, I guess Steven maintains his same position.
VP.
I don't think Steven really wants to be the GM. Steven just wants to be the owner.
He's seen his dad take all these slings and arrows. You think he wants
Right,
any part of that?
Yeah.
In fact, we've always held out hope that if Steven did one day ascend to the throne, he would hire a GM.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think he would.
I think he would too. And
Is
boy,
Will
people would go
McClay a
crazy.
good candidate for being a GM?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. He's put together good rosters here.
Although the players always come up way short. It's the circular argument.
Yeah, I
They
know.
do. I mean, you could say that, but again, I think there's, for whatever reason, they didn't get the most out of him.
And whose fault is it? Is it kind of all of their
I don't
fault?
know. Maybe
I mean,
professional
Dax is
football's-
Dak's fault,
Yeah.
and McCarthy is.
These guys are pros. A lot of them, they should shoulder more responsibility, say, than college football players or high school football players.
So if you're drafting, though, as the GM, players that fail on the biggest stage, whether they succumb to the pressure, they just can't perform, they don't have the drive, whatever that happens to be, then isn't that on the GM for drafting those types of players?
It's on both, I guess. It's on the players for not meeting their expectations, and then it's on the people who chose and hired those people. I mean, I
Maybe-
guess it's a shared deal.
Maybe there were no signs of mental failures in high school or college as they were assessing these guys, and maybe just getting to the next level, that's where they proved they weren't ready for that next level, couldn't handle the next level, whatever it is.
I still think it is so weird, that jump from college to pro, how some guys fulfill their expectations, some guys completely tank, and everyone thought that they were just going to be awesome in the NFL, and then those weird ones like Dak and Tony Romo and people like that just go above him. Even Brady, right? What was Brady?
Yeah, sixth round.
Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Last guy taken in the draft.
Like, how does that happen?
And he's on the precipice of a Super Bowl.
How do all the football experts
Not a
miss
word.
on someone?
Because it's such an inexact science, and that's why I think if
And
you're
so is this
reasonable-
blame game as we're discovering
Sure,
and
yeah.
talking through it.
And I
It's-
think if you're reasonable, every GM, you understand, or personnel guy, they're going to have misses. Absolutely.
A lot.
Yeah.
They have more misses than hits.
But here's another
I've
way.
had a few misses in my time and got an extra kid out of it.
I'll tell you where Jerry has also perhaps failed, and we don't know this for fact, but you wonder if Will McClay was just the GM. I think he would have a good idea of the type of player they want. And they had these conversations in a draft room where there's this guy who has no off-the-field issues, and then there's this guy who does. And maybe Jerry has said, well, I don't care if he has off-the-field issues. I want Super Bowl. Well, maybe you didn't get Super Bowl because that guy wasn't available because he got suspended or whatever. I don't know. But I think that possibility exists, too, to where if you had total control,
if
you
he
would
has
have,
a GM, will they ever be a full GM with Jerry
Yeah, I
still
don't
in the
know. Right.
owner's
I don't think so.
office?
I don't think so.
Because he always will have his veto card ready to go for something that he
Yeah.
Yeah.
is passionate about. I mean, the one time that Jerry took the moral stand on a player, you remember that?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I think that Jerry was done with the moral
So, okay.
stances after that.
Hall of Famer Randy Moss.
You scouts tell me one more time about some guys off the field stuff. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so will he ever say it again? He said it once in 2012. Will he say that he will fire Jerry Jones, the GM, if he could?
I just can't believe we're having this discussion again.
I know.
And
It's early.
last year at this time, we had the same discussion, and the year before, and the year before, and it makes the job so complicated because, as I said to you last year, George, you and Bob, and I respect your football IQs tremendously, have both said repeatedly it cannot work the way it's structured at the Star.
Yeah.
It cannot work.
Yeah.
Yet, every year,
It might work.
I
this
hear
year.
you and Bob saying it might work this
Yes,
year
the team's
because,
looking good.
because
Dak's
Dak has
having a
really
good
raised his
year.
level.
Yeah.
It just makes our job so complicated because we know the structure out there is flawed.
Yeah.
But then in the day-to-day grind in this job, you're just analyzing CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and this and that. And everybody, I'm telling you, it's why I wrote that book. Everybody.
You authored the book, but you still predict victories for them week in and week out.
Well, I'm not going to predict them to go 0-17.
Right.
So you have to be realistic. They are going to win games, and they have a lot of talent, and they're going to, like, I thought they'd beat Green Bay, but I wasn't going to pick them to go much further than that. Definitely wasn't going to pick them to beat San Francisco. That was going to be another blowout.
I think next week would have been a toss-up with Detroit,
I think I very well would have picked Detroit. But the point is, by next September, everything everyone is saying this week will be forgotten.
Right.
Yeah,
everything
going to pick up a
will be
running
forgotten
back in the second round who we really like. And
George being done with Dak yesterday, September he'll be back on board. It's just the nature of this business. It's the nature of fandom.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. And I said it last year in January. Just watch. Playoffs, preseason rolls around, regular season, we're all going to be thinking, man, this team might actually have a shot. It's because it's what we do in this town, and it's maddening.
It's what makes sports the best and the worst.
You're not going to find me pumping up Dak next year.
Mark that. Daddy, mark that. Tyler?
You are
here
both
on
witnesses.
January
9/31,
I want you both to sign affidavits after the show.
You are
also NDAs.
You are not going to hear me pumping
they sign
up Dak.
affidavits, and then we sign an NDA that they can't release what they just signed an affidavit about.
Now, in fairness, if he has a good game, can I say Dak played well yesterday? I can say that. I mean, that's just enough.
Oh, apparently you can't.
Wait a minute.
Interesting.
That's not being fair to Dak, though, if he has a good game.
It's what I do. I wrote the book about never buying into the Cowboys, but that doesn't mean I can't come in here on a Monday after they play well and say, hey, they were great.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl. Since I wrote the book, I've not picked them to win the Super Bowl or go to the title game because I know what we're in store for because of the structure.
Well, hey, yeah, I know. I made the deal with my son. I knew it, whatever that was, 15 years ago. I'm safe.
Yes.
That they'll never go to the Super Bowl in your lifetime.
Yeah. And boy, it's looking more.
Okay. That's a second affidavit. A second affidavit.
Sign NDAs as well.
Wait a minute. I'm just saying that's the deal I made. That's the deal I made with him.
I'm on the phone with the attorneys right now, drawing up the paperwork.
No, I think that could change, but yeah, I feel pretty safe about it.
All right, 2 additional.
I don't know how much longer I'm going to
message.
live.
Tracy says, I'm sorry, but Jerry isn't the problem. The talent and the coaches are. At some point, it's their responsibility to perform. And then Mike says, Gordon, in relation to your defense of Jerry, I work with a person who worked for the Cowboys over 15 years and very closely with the family members. It's Jerry and the Jones family in general, 100%. They say that's the problem. So
his friend of Rich Dalrymple was that emailed you.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted us to stack up the wheels off stuff off the field, the taking your starting quarterback on a family vacation, GMs don't
bonding.
do that. No,
that's not bonding.
That's horse hockey.
Okay, but wait a second. We've heard reports about Mike McCarthy being close with the players' families. We like that, right? When a coach is real close with the players.
It doesn't mean he takes them to Disney World.
How do you know?
Or to the Italian coast. Rub suntan lotion on their shoulders.
Jerry, okay, now you're adding stuff that is not confirmed.
He did get in the family photo. He and Witty Kitty did.
Who, Romo?
Yeah.
Don't call it Witty Kitty. It's Jason Witten.
That was our old cat that we named for
Yes,
Jason Witten.
that's right.
Rest in peace. Moment of silence.
So you're saying that the GM was too close to those players?
Yeah.
If you're rubbing suntan oil on them in a Caribbean location or something.
Yes. And you don't let your coach go on basketball safaris with the starting quarterback and the starting tight end. It's ridiculous.
Basketball safari.
They went to Duke, Garrett, and Romo.
The basketball bunch.
Such a mess.
It's so great.
And here we are talking about it again.
See?
How about them Cowboys?
He wants chaos, Cowboys.
All right, 9:34 on the ticket.
Get the Steak podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Once again, the ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
The rest of our life is going to suck, and in the end, we're all going to die.
And now, here are your hosts, Sean Bass and...
Thank you, Mark. No. Thank you, Ham. It's the sweet spot. The Eagles lost, so it's a victory Tuesday. Don't worry about the Cowboys. And at 3 o'clock, it's Jay King for a day.
Thank you, Mino. Give me the Vin brings you Old Monty.
Thank you, Mino.
Monto.
Lando. It is 3 o'clock here on the
Lando.
ticket. We say hello to the hard line. Let's see them. They're not sitting right there right now, so they must be somewhere else. Don't do a stop.
That sounds like Corby.
I hear a hum.
How we doing?
Hey.
Sounds like you're in Tarrant County.
Hey now.
We are dead smack in the middle of Tarrant County, my old stomping grounds.
Some big old ladies.
Where I used to hang out here at the stock show on a daily basis.
Now, is this the Fat Stock Show?
It is.
The Fat Stock
So
Show.
I might get sifted.
You could get sifted.
I hope I don't get sifted.
Shouldn't have eaten everyone
sifted.
else's food there, bud. Eat your own.
I know.
It's just so delicious.
Just jumping
That
from
is
one
one
bowl to the
smart
next bowl.
pig.
I just walked by a shirt that I think you guys would be interested in. What do you think of that one?
I was hoping he was
I
just
like
gonna
it.
stop with
Yeah, that's definitely a Tarrant County shirt.
What's it say?
It's a shirt that has a ruffled cowboy on it, and it says, "I don't care how they do it in Dallas."
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
You know what I'm
brother.
saying?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You city folk.
We hate
I don't
Dallas.
blame them one bit.
So they are Bob, Corby, Dave. They are at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo.
Whatever.
By the beer stand.
By the beer
And
stand.
by Bobby's Fajitas.
I got the best seat in the house by the beer and meat.
I know.
Yeah. And
that
I'm
on your
looking at
rider?
a bunch of fringe jackets.
Yeah, the whole Yellowstone
later on,
costume club is out here.
Later on, they'll have beer meat.
I get to be Rip.
It means
I'm
you
gonna
got to
be
hook
Beth.
up with Beth. You okay with that?
Yeah, you guys are going to do it.
I don't want to be Rip.
Plow through that.
Give me Teeter.
Give me Teeter. Oh, sick reference, bro.
All right, today is Tuesday, January 16th, the 16th day of 2024. There are 350 days left in the year. On this date in 1920, Prohibition began in the U.S. as the 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution took effect.
That's what we get for giving the women the right to vote.
They took away
Well,
the beer.
I think a lot of that stemmed from men were coming home and just beating the hell out of women after they got hammered.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to vote.
Yeah, right. We don't need you to vote.
Mark.
Then they made a whole show about potential domestic violence in the honeymooners.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like she
One of
said,
these
one
days.
All you got to do
one
is
wrong
threaten
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Why I
One wrong thing, and I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Right
all
to
the way
the
to the
moon.
moon.
Yes, until you leave the Earth's orbit.
32,000 feet away.
Like, man, I just I prefer that we have Thai food tonight. No,
That's what we called comedy.
not eat at home. In 1945, Adolf Hitler took to his underground bunker, where he would remain for 105 days until he dies by suicide.
Because
No.
he couldn't take Ava Braun anymore.
I didn't
He
Ava go with him
unlived himself.
because I thought
Or
they,
Jesse Owens.
I thought they put the pill in each other's mouth like there was their wedding cake.
It was like, you do it first. No, you go.
You're thinking of Family Guy, where they did the scene of them both saying, "All right, 1, 2, 3," and they both backed out.
Would you have approved of your entire history curriculum being taught by the Family Guy?
Professor Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would.
Yeah.
Mix
That
in
would
a
be
little
so
Ted.
fun.
You might actually learn something.
Yeah, you watching Young Ted, Corby?
I mean,
No,
before
but my
it was Bill Cosby.
now that we got Peacock, both my kids have sat down to watch the first few episodes of Ted the prequel.
Well, don't let them spoil it on you. If you
Yeah,
want to go through that.
yeah, if you're
I could
taping
probably
it.
figure it out pretty quick.
There's full-on cursing in that. I'm going to check it
Yeah.
out.
Your pot yet?
Facundo God.
If he's not cursing, then he's just another teddy bear.
Right.
What sets Ted apart is
He's no lame
massive
ass bear.
amounts of pot and cursing.
You're not getting that one at Build-A-Bear, bro. In 1973, the Dallas Cowboys defeat the Miami Dolphins 24-3 in Super Bowl VI, thanks to over 250 yards on the ground.
The Battle of New Orleans, Monty.
150,000. Over
Shula and Greasy overrated.
100.
That's
There's the Stabler family poking through Davy Lane.
The great Bob Lilly sack where Bob Greasy's running backwards 40 yards.
So awesome.
Yep.
It needs Benny Hill music behind it.
It does.
It's amazing.
One too
that
many spins from
Bob Lilly
Big Bob.
and Lil Uzi Vert are always connected in our minds.
Yep.
Have they ever been mentioned in the same sentence before until that moment?
No, not at all.
I think they went in on a business together, the two of them. I think they're pretty good buds. In 1988,
They came up with a weed strain together.
Did it have a name?
Doomsday.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Give yourself a rim shot there.
I hadn't gotten that far yet. In 1988, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, the man who helmed CBS NFL Today, fired for racial
not
comments
Fran
during an
Tarkington.
interview the previous day in Washington.
You were in Washington.
Talking about why African Americans are better athletes. And got in trouble.
Why are they, Monty?
Right, Corby? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then.
I'm just happy we can get along now.
Yeah, he was proposing that the Pro Bowl become the white team versus the black team.
Right there.
Got in trouble.
Get up!
In 2016,
Probably get better ratings.
we had the first ever flower grown in space.
Okay.
This was aboard the International Space Station's NASA Veggie system.
Libs.
And no, it wasn't a marijuana flower. That'd been pretty sick. It was a zinnia.
I wonder what it's like to be high in space.
Bro, be high while you're
Dude.
Yeah. Hi.
You'll be even
And hi.
Like you're already floating, and then it feels like you're floating.
I can put my apple right here and it stays with me, and I can
But
just
the
grab
apple-
it out of the air.
You could tie a string between your arm and the apple, and it could float next to you forever. You would never lose it.
Time up your high. So
I need to go for a spacewalk.
up in the space
I'll be back
rocket.
in a little bit, honey.
Would pot have taken off the way it did if you could only smoke it out of an apple?
Or in space.
Yes.
Like, that's the only... Okay.
A space apple?
Yes.
All right, just checking. And in 2022, unvaccinated world number one tennis player Novak Djokovic deported by the Australian government on, quote, health and good order grounds without playing in the Aussie Open.
Libs.
Remember those libs?
He
Those
would never
Aussie
win
libs?
again, except for the next year.
He
And
would
then the
never even
next.
play.
And the next.
Libs.
He was superhuman because he didn't get the jab.
Yeah. He's
Did
alive.
Did they just take the nets down to keep us all safe from playing tennis with each other?
Yeah, they
It
went
was
to
tough finding a
cloth.
court back then, I got to tell you.
They had to use
Well, they'd allow
N95
singles.
nets.
They'd allow singles, but you can't play doubles.
Cities were locking up all their courts. Couldn't do our family
Pickleball was
foursome.
Totally out.
Gross.
Luckily, it didn't affect pickleball.
Why were you into that?
Get in the kitchen. Right?
That's pickleball.
Who was that
Hadn't
tennis
been
player
invented
we were
yet.
really into last year, the year before?
Do we thank COVID for inventing pickleball?
I don't think so. I think pickleball's been around for quite some time.
Wasn't there some young American tennis player we were all into?
D.W. Pickle.
We're
John
gonna
McEnroe.
Yeah,
We're going to
McEnroe.
need a better hint than that.
Like,
Bjorn
within the
Borg.
last 5 years.
Man?
It was a
Alcaraz?
man
Let's start
presenting.
with gender. Big Ben Shelton.
Michael Chang.
Francis Tiafoe.
Probably Tiafoe. I mean,
Taylor
that's the most mainstream of them. By the way, Francis will be in town here in a couple of weeks for the
Oh,
Dallas.
Can't
Frankie's coming
wait.
through?
Let's take him to the Waffle House or something.
segment's going to be about tennis.
Is he the Freddie Adu of tennis?
No.
No, but
A little more substance. to
Tiafoe's great.
Old Freddie.
Penis.
All right,
Yeah,
people
Freddie
with
Adu's
birthdays
still
today.
young. It's only 34.
He is. He's 14.
He's our age.
Do they carry tennis on Peacock?
No.
It's Peacock.
Is your back okay?
I think Wimbledon tennis is on Peacock.
All right, birthdays today. You want to send in birthdays, send them to montywtds@gmail.com. Hey, Monty, Charlie is turning 38 today. His leaders are Donovan and Afternoon Jub. Can he play Elf getting ball sacked? That from John.
That never happened.
If only it happened.
No. So Hitler came back and he won the Masters.
We get a sip of coffee.
You don't know if he would have been too hip about Hitler winning the Masters.
I'm just kidding.
I read it on the internet.
Have you asked him?
It was on an Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right there.
That sounds like a really odd question to ask somebody. Are you cool with Hitler winning the Masters?
It's just a yes or no. We don't have to get into it.
No? What about Wimbledon? Where are you at on that?
The Nazis.
I would like to see Hitler in all whites.
What about the Grand Prix of Monte Carlo?
All right. Also, P1 Devin says, Monto, please give a shout out to my buddy Tom, who just had his first kid on his birthday. They are both Cowboys sad, so drop request. Bad decision, Coach.
We're all Cowboys sad.
Uh-huh.
Monty, how old are you?
Year.
I am 34.
So you, too, have no memory of anything that went down good for Cowboys since your birth?
None. I was a little fella when that happened.
Skiing.
I
Yeah, all
still
you
had
did
a
was
leg
ski.
the last time the Cowboys won a
Right?
Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's an amazing, ironic
Yeah, I
note.
heard them mention that on SportsCenter, and I was like, whoa.
I didn't think of it that way.
So
It
maybe
really
it's the
makes
curse
sense
of
now.
Monty's leg.
Yeah.
We need to get the Cowboys
Put it in
record
the Ring of Honor.
pre-leg and post-leg.
Yeah, we just need to have the stump on the Ring of
We
Honor.
just got to keep
with
putting stuff in the Ring
years.
of Honor. Till they finally make it.
1994 to 1998.
Till we figure
It's
out
time,
what
Jerry.
it is.
It's time.
Just hijack a Cowboys-Falcons game right before Jerry can talk to my bouncing leg.
What year was amputation? I'm going to figure these stats out.
What? You're going to do P-stump and post-stump?
This Romo era?
07?
I would have had it, yeah. So it would have
So
been
1989
to
to 2007? All right.
All right, birthdays
on
today.
this.
Turning 81, Paul's dad, Ronnie Millsap.
Yeah, get on that P1 Domo. 89 to 07.
That is not Paul Millsap's dad.
Yeah, he couldn't have kids. He was blind.
Ronnie's blind.
Turning 76 today, Dr. Laura Schlesinger.
But
Jeremy.
he's gay. I mean, he's gay. Excuse me. He's blind.
Give it all back. Turning
Give it all
76 today, also the director, John Carpenter.
She had buckwheat and a leg lock on.
John
Halloween.
Carpenter, and
Did
Snake
The
Plissken.
Thing.
And Big Trouble in Little China.
And The Thing.
Sade is 65.
Shorty.
Sade.
Turning 62 today is Mark Steger. He played the Demogorgon on Stranger Things.
What?
What a role.
There was actually a dude in that.
That wasn't CGI?
Apparently not. Apparently it was
He's
Mark
ripped.
Steger. Yeah.
Ripped without a face.
Ripped without a face.
I love that song. I thought Corby wrote
I
it.
know you've ways real without
Kate Moss, the actress, is 50.
She dated Johnny Depp.
She looks terrible now. Have you
She
seen
was
her?
she was also a big player on Family Guy.
She never looked good, though. She was too
She smoked a
tiny.
lot of British cigarettes.
Let's see. Ooh. Wow. You know what? Not enough flesh.
Yeah.
It's just so skinny
Yeah,
that
she's sunken face.
That noise I hear is all the blood going back to Corby's head.
Is that blood?
Lin-Manuel Miranda, 44. Jim Caldwell, the coach, 69. Roy Jones Jr., the boxer, 55.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Is he the dude that flipped his Lambo in Dallas?
No.
Who was that?
Earl
That's the guy from here, Earl Spence.
Oh, Earl Spence Jr., not Roy Jones Jr.
Roy
Joe
Jones. Did Roy
Totally
Jones ever
different
fight?
boxers.
Didn't he try to
Why
go
do
up
people
and wait?
confuse the
Yeah.
two of them?
Who did he fight?
Ruiz.
Butterbean.
That's where
Kimbo
we talked.
Slice.
Rosie?
No, John Ruiz
Did
maybe.
he fight Rosie Ruiz?
No, but that's where Bad Radio had a conversation with O.J. Simpson
In Nashville or
at the
Memphis?
Roy Jones Ruiz fight.
What'd y'all ask him about?
Talk fantasy football.
Whether he was able to find the killer on the 16th fairway.
Why he wouldn't live in L.A. anymore because he was worried the real killer might be near him. Joe Horn, 52. The reason we
JC's
care about
dad.
hockey, Brendan
Flip
Morrow, 45. Jimmy
Cinco de
Walker
Moro.
BMO.
is 45. The
Dynamite.
man I named my shower chair after, Albert Pujols, is 44.
Jimmy Walker, the golfer?
Yes.
Okay. Let's we're deep in our bag now.
Joe Flacco, 39.
Elite.
You got
Questionable.
nothing going on. Former Cowboy great, 37-year-old Nolan Carroll.
Nolan. Better than
That's
JD.
a Packer.
Jonathan Allen, 29. And fella, it's a
69.
big one for us today. Turning 33. Perhaps the best player in the NHL. I haven't kept up this year. Matt Duchene.
Wow.
Whoa, my goodness.
Sweet spot zone.
Matt Duchene. All right, Born Within Not Dead, we have Aaliyah and Frank Zamboni. He invented the waffle iron. Dylan Stay Still Dead.
Who was grooming Aaliyah?
I don't know. Dylan Stay Still Dead, Phil Spector, and astronaut Eugene Carmen.
Did I just say Phil Spector right before he said that?
Yes.
Whoa.
Like you've done before,
Happy birthday, Dutchie.
The apple.
Broadcasting live from the TSU Energy Mothership at Victory Park, powered by the AAC. This is Sports Radio 96.7 and 13.
And thank you, Jay. And here he is, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Gen X Davey.
So last night was the broadcast of the Emmys. The night before was the broadcast of the Critics' Choice Awards. But the Emmys were actually recorded on January 15th.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it was on tape last night. It's weird.
Well, wait. Today's the 16th.
Oh, no. What? So it was live.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Was this on ESPN?
I didn't
or
watch
NBA
it.
TV? What
I
was
didn't
this
watch
on?
it. But I'm going to try and summarize it for you, even though I didn't watch it.
Okay.
You caved under cross-examination there, really.
Yeah, I was like,
very quickly.
I was like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what to say. But it was hosted by Anthony Anderson of Blackish. And this is the 2023 Emmys. So because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike, this was for programs and movies and stuff released limited series and made-for-TV films and TV shows between June 1st, 2022 and May 31st, 2023.
Right, and so, like, for The Bear, this would be for The Bear Season 1.
Right. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So, yes, outstanding drama series, Succession, and not the final season, the season before. The Bear, outstanding comedy series. Lead actor in a drama series, Kieran Culkin from Succession, and he, I guess, was made a promise by his wife that he mentions in his emotional acceptance speech.
And, of course, my beautiful wife, Jazz. Thank you for sharing your life with me and for giving me two amazing kids, Zissou and Wilder Wolf. I love you so many and so much. And, Jazz, I want more.
Oh, boy.
You said maybe if I win. I love you so much. Thank you.
So, maybe he's going to have some celebratory love.
And then you can't really, then all the pressure's on her. Kind of not a good move.
Right. Sarah,
it's asking if you can go on the golf trip in front of all the friends at dinner.
Yes.
And you put your wife on the spot.
Yeah, I mean,
then she can't say
You
no.
really going to ask me here?
Right.
I don't want to go through childbirth again.
No.
We have two. That's enough. Lead actress in a drama series was Sarah Snook. Lead actor in a comedy series, Jeremy Allen White, of course.
From The Bear, and the other one from Succession.
Yes.
I like Michigan State minus the 3 against Iowa.
Not him.
Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series was Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary. Outstanding supporting actor in a drama series was Matthew McFadden from Succession. And so he plays Sarah Snook's husband.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he's extremely British, and he thanked all his wives.
I must, our stellar cast, I must make special mention to my on-screen wife, Sarah Snook.
I had no idea he was British.
And my other on-screen wife, Nicholas Braun.
What does that mean?
Cousin.
Oh, okay.
His sidekick, and internet's failing. But whatever. Outstanding supporting actor in a comedy series was Ebron Moss Backrack from The Bear, speaking of Cousin.
So that's Cousin, who just what a wild ride Cousin is. And also made an appearance on, was it The Mandalorian or Andor?
Mandalorian, I think.
No, he was in Andor.
Oh, okay.
Andor,
yeah, he was in 2 episodes.
Yes.
He was part of the crew.
Yeah.
Outstanding supporting actress in a comedy series was Io Edeberry from The Bear.
Yeah, it's Quincy.
Yes. This was actually sent to me by the Snake last night as Niecy Nash Betts won Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited Series for Dahmer, and she was very emotional because, a lot of these supporting categories, they feel like they are never going to get to this point, especially when you are a person of color.
I'm a winner, baby! Thank you to the Most High for this divine moment. Thank you, Ryan Murphy, for seeing me. Evan Peters, I love you. Netflix, every single person who voted for me, thank you. And my better half who picked me up when I was gutted from this work, thank you. And you know who I want to thank? I want to thank me. For believing in me and doing what they said I could not do.
So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Outstanding television movie, Ty. Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
How about that? That was on Roku.
Yeah, it was on the Roku channel.
Yeah.
So evidently people actually loved it. I never saw it.
The Harry Potter kid was.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
We mentioned people of color, so it was a historic night for people of color as 5 of the 12 acting Emmys went to performers of color, tying the record set in 91. And 3 of those were from Beef, Asian descent, Asian Americans.
Asian Beef.
Yeah, Asian Beef. So Lee Sung-jin won for writing and directing for Beef. And then Stephen Yun and Ali Wong won for their respective acting categories.
Beef. What's for dinner?
There was controversy because last week tonight, the John Oliver show, it had been dominating the variety talk category, but it was moved to a new scripted variety series category, and it beat Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
So that opened up the variety talk category for Trevor Noah to win for the final season of The Daily Show.
And he did? Okay.
There was a very emotional moment as the first presenter of the night was Christina Applegate.
Are you familiar with her story right now, Bob?
Isn't she ill?
Yeah, she has MS. She was diagnosed with MS in 2021.
Slow down back there, Jay. She's got MS.
And so she came out. She was escorted by Anthony Anderson, and she also had a cane.
Yeah.
So she has to walk with a cane. And she, of course, is extremely funny, and she couldn't help but taking digs at herself.
Thank you so much. Oh, my God. You're totally shaming me with disability by standing up. It's fine. Okay. Body, not by Ozempic. Okay, let's go. Some of you may know me as Kelly Bundy from Married with Children. Thank you. We don't have to applaud every time I do something.
So she's very funny. And she did present the Best Supporting Actress that went to Jennifer Coolidge. And
for White Lotus. Oh, hell yeah.
And so, spoiler alert, she dies in this season.
Right. It's been a while since it's been released.
And she had an iconic line, "Please, these gays, they're trying to murder me," as she's on the phone.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she references that in her speech.
Mike White, thank you for this. Mike White, making you part of giving me this opportunity to play this incredible character. And he says I'm definitely dead, so I'm going along with it. And I just Dave Bernard, amazing producer, Mark Kamine, there's somebody, you see them, it's running out. Okay, so I just want to say, I want to thank all the evil gays.
We also had an appearance by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. We don't have time to play that audio, but meh. Speaking of the White Lotus, quick casting note.
Yep.
You know who has been added to the cast today?
Who?
Walton Goggins.
Oh. Walton Goggins?
Yes.
Uncle Baby Billy?
Yes, he joins
Shane?
He joins Parker Posey and Carrie Coon, among others.
Oh, my God, I'm in.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. But yes, so Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, they introduced the winner of the variety category, which went to Elton John Live, Farewell from Dodger Stadium.
He's gay.
That made Elton John an EGOT.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hit for the cycle.
Yeah, so he had won Oscars for Best Original Song for Rocket Man and The Lion King. He had won a Tony for Ada, and he has won 6 Grammys. So he becomes
what about a Marconi?
Hasn't won that.
What about a Heisman?
He got him. Yeah, where's his Heisman?
Doesn't have that
Do you
either.
think he could, in his prime, so let's not talk about modern-day Elton.
Okay.
In his prime.
At his peak.
Yeah, could he tackle Derrick Henry?
I don't know. Probably not.
Could he have won the Triple Crown in his sequined Dodgers outfit?
Right. Or could he have tracked down Caleb Williams, like scrambling around in the pocket in his Donald Duck costume?
Yeah, talk to me when you want to Conn Smythe, Elton.
Right.
So he becomes only the 24th EGOT. Let's see. Better Call Saul is the most snubbed series of all time. It has gone 0 for 53 all time.
What the hell, man? 53 nominations and they don't get one? Like Rhea Seehorn didn't get one?
They had several reunions of different casts on the show last night. They had the Sopranos, Martin, All in the Family, Grey's Anatomy.
Do you think Donovan's Martin radar went off?
Right. He just knew it was happening.
Right.
And the cast of Cheers reunited. Ted Danson, Kelsey Grammer, Rhea Perlman, John Ratzenberger, George Wendt were all there. They were presenting an award for Best Writing in a Comedy Series. Shelley Long, Woody Harrelson, Bebe Neuwirth, and Kirstie Alley were not there.
Why was Kirstie Alley
I don't know
not
where
there?
Kirstie Alley was.
I think she's in hell.
She was in the In Memoriam. That's right.
Yeah.
So the In Memoriam was led by Matthew Perry, Angela Lansbury, Norman Lear. They omitted Jerry Springer, Julian Sands, Ray Stevenson, Tom Sizemore.
Ray Stevenson did The Streak?
Is that who that was?
No, Ray Stevens, not Ray Stevenson.
And
that was a joke for my dad, who was
Raquel
also
Welch
dead.
Did not make it either. I guess maybe because they hadn't really done television. Right. I don't know. But just to close out our little Emmy segment, do you want to know what they were playing behind the In Memoriam? It was Charlie Pluth doing a version of this.
I'll be there for you.
Kind of weird.
I'll be there for you.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah. It's a very heartfelt Emmys.
We didn't watch it. So you don't have to either.
That's right.
And evidently it was live.
It was. Yeah, we learning breaking news.
Breaking news.
It was taped on January 15th, though.
Yeah, yeah, which was yesterday. I'm stupid, guys.
No, you're not.
No,
you're
doing
not. You're doing good.
great.
It's great. You just had a baby. Your head's a little clouded. Don't worry about it.
I don't get sleep these days.
The Fort Worth Stock Show has never seen an E-News that good.
No.
They're buzzing.
This guy's
Look
amazed.
at this guy.
He's freaking out
He
over
doesn't
here.
know what to do. All right. Thank you for that. Here is Dave.
Thank you much. Yes, it is still really, really cold.
Hey, what's up,
in the
Dave?
teens. We're going to get down to 16 again tonight. It was strange, though, because a lot of districts were closed today. I heard the rationale that they didn't want kids who had to ride the bus standing out in the frigid temperatures.
That's all this is.
My daughter did go to school today, and the roads were just fine this morning.
Yeah. This literally was all about people worried that kids that walked to school or stood at the bus stop were going to die.
Yeah, and going to school today, it was very much like on a day where there's torrential rain, that there's just huge traffic going into the loop because all the kids that do walk or ride their bike, that they're getting a lift to school because it's too cold.
Did your youngest go to school?
No, he has not started preschool yet.
Oh. I get confused.
What's his deal?
I know, right?
He's 3 weeks old. Let's go.
We're just working on tummy time right now. That's as far as he's gotten.
All right. Sounds kind of lame.
Yeah, but the cold will break tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get up into the 40s, and then Thursday we'll be up into the 50s. And then another cold front will come on Friday, but it's not going to be as bad as this one. And so a lot of schools, I'm sure, will be back tomorrow. Hopefully Love Field and DFW will get back on schedule tomorrow.
Have they not been able to fly? Because I saw that they were grounding a ton of flights, and that is sheerly based on cold?
I don't know if they're having to worry about de-icing planes, and that's just delaying stuff. I have no idea.
How do flights get out of Milwaukee and Kansas City?
I guess we just don't have the equipment on hand. I have no idea. I'm talking out my ass right now.
No, I mean, I appreciate that. But it just seemed weird that they were grounding planes because of very little wind and cold.
Yeah, and hopefully city services will come back on tomorrow because they also don't want letter carriers and recycling and trash pickup. They don't want those guys freezing to death either.
It's a weird. I hear exactly what you're saying, Corby, about us Northerners and our ability to keep airports going.
And school.
School's a little bit different, but it does seem like Arctic temperatures should affect airplanes in a unflattering way.
A negative way?
Unflattering? Interesting word choice, but yes, okay.
Yeah,
one of the big stories here in Fort Worth, which is where we are right now at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, is the explosion at the Sandman Signature Hotel.
Yes.
And so this was last Monday, and there is a restaurant worker. So there's a restaurant in the basement of the Sandman Hotel, and this guy, Jose Mira, he is now suing the hotel, the restaurant, and Atmos Energy because he alleges that he smelled gas and reported it to a manager 90 minutes before the explosion. And he was told something to the effect of, "It's not gas, just keep working."
Wow.
And so the hotel owner, Northland Properties, said that they are cooperating with officials and they're trying to determine the cause of the explosion. Atmos Energy says that its equipment is not to blame. They're fine.
Yeah.
And Fort Worth fire officials say they believe the explosion was gas-related, but they have not officially determined the cause. They're still investigating.
Well, what else would it be?
A violent...
Side of a wall blew out.
Yeah, a violent explosion like that. So Mira's lawsuit says that he was in the basement in that hotel restaurant, which is called Musume, sorry. Butchering everything today. I'm operating on like 4 hours sleep. But he was in that basement restaurant, and after the explosion, he was trapped in the rubble for 30 minutes and had to crawl out like a snake to escape.
Wow.
And he suffered head injuries. He still has difficulty breathing, and he's still suffering from headaches. He said in the lawsuit that the smell of gas was so bad that it was burning his eyeballs.
Oh, my God. Well, you wonder, too, because, we told you that when it all happened, not the Royal U, that Tom Ghilardi owns that joint, the Stars owner. How many people that were involved in that were in some pretty serious distress are going to end up throwing a lawsuit against him. I mean, not that if anybody owns a hotel, they're probably wealthy, but then you attach owner of a sports team.
Right.
Then.
And didn't a newlywed couple die in the explosion? Did I hear that wrong? Or
really?
I thought I heard that on Muse, but maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't think anybody died.
I know that there were maybe 17 people injured. But I think maybe there were deaths after the fact in the hospital. But again, I'm talking out my ass.
Well, if you can win a lawsuit smelling gas, I feel like I have a really good case.
No one's died.
Natural gas, not the gas that naturally comes out of me.
No one has died.
Okay, well then strike that from the record. Judas Priest.
Yet.
Okay, so lastly, for Community Quick Hits today,
one more.
We know that the way the winds are blowing, that eventually gambling will be legal here in Texas.
Yes.
I have a dream.
It is creeping closer and closer to Texas. We have our friends up in Choctaw, and there are other properties up there north of the Red. Well, Hard Rock International just announced that they are going to build a 189-room hotel and conference center, along with a marina, a master-planned resort community, a golf course, an enclosed water park, an amphitheater, a casino.
Where?
A $1 billion development on the north shore of Texoma.
That's... The North Shore of Texoma, is that Oklahoma, though?
Yeah, it's Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So it's 19 miles of shoreline, and it's near Kingston, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So and in Kingston, the Chickasaw Nation just opened a casino and resort up there as well. So that's going to be the next Oklahoma hotspot, is right across the border in Texoma.
So my big brain question is this. Do those properties fight against the legalization of gambling in Texas?
Surely they do.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they fight, per se, because it's probably all owned by a lot of the same people in Vegas, They're just...
Well, the Indian nations, though.
Well, yeah, them for sure, but they're kind of a silent partner in it all, I think, more than anything else.
Like, if you were running a casino, you would think you would be pro-casino, but if it's one that would take away a lot of your business, you might be anti-casino.
There's no doubt that our friends up there would rather it not happen down here.
Yeah,
because
they want to drink our milkshake.
Right.
Yeah,
put the straw right there in Dallas.
All of the people that drive up 75 will be able to just drive down 114.
Yes,
and they do not want that.
I'll drink your milkshake.
All right, coming up next.